Opened LoveIt Spa about 3.5 years ago, and it's been quite the journey. Definitely not something that I ever expected to do, and didn't think that I had the courage or the confidence to do it. But it was just one day when I was looking around for property and I found the space in a guest house and it was available, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to pay this amount of rent, and the owner said absolutely, and I was like, flip, now I need to leave my job. And yeah, so I went back the next day and handed in my resignation, and then had to start running a business. And if I knew what I didn't know about business running, I don't think I would have ever started, because it really, you're one person doing a million different things. And I always thought when I owned my own business I'd have Saturdays off, which is never the case, because you work harder but you reap the rewards. And for me, that's where LoveIt Spa was born. And so it wasn't really clearly cut before I actually got into the business. But as I started being on my own and developing my own client base, I realized I found a new passion, a new love for my industry, and I knew that I could pave a new way for the beauty world, and that's where I'm sitting at the moment. There's a million other spas that you can go to. There's one on every corner. But for me, LoveIt Spa is a feeling, it's an experience, it is a place where clients are a part of the business. They're not just a separate entity. And I'm trying to create that, and it takes a lot of faith and courage, because I'm not going to market and upsell the biggest, newest, latest treatment. For me, I'm selling a feeling, and yeah, I love it. The name LoveIt is quite an interesting, how I came about the name is I was sitting with a group of friends, and I was saying, now I have this new space and I need a name for my business, and we went through 100 names, and I kept on saying, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, and then I was like, I'm going to call my spa LoveIt, because I say that a lot. And then I dived more into what it is, and I want people to love it. I want them to love themselves. I want them to love their history, their past, their present, just everything about it. And I truly love my clients, and that's a big part of my business. That's actually the hardest thing, because sometimes clients will not stay with you forever. They'll find someone else. And so for me, that's been quite the journey, because my whole basis of my business is around love and to show love and care. With that comes challenges like finding therapists that follow the same values, morals, ethics, that also want to love and care for your clients. So I found myself expanding and getting bigger and having more therapists and increasing my offering, but I lost that love part. And so I had to check back into what is it that my business represents, and that has been a difficult decision, because it means that I've actually had to become smaller and redefine what that means. I've had to go back on to being by myself, because when people know LoveIt, they know Candice. So they want to come to me because I've been able to show them the love, care, be present. I find that therapists aren't present. I'm present in every treatment that I do, which means that I have to put my own personal stuff aside so that I'm able to connect and really be there for my client. And that takes a lot of hard work, and it's a lot to do with why people feel other businesses, you feel like you're in a sausage machine when you get your nails done or when you get a waxing. There's no feeling attached to it. It just becomes a service. Yes, it is. Listen, I need to I need to ground myself a lot, and it's what I did before doing this video, because my morning just spiraled out of control, and I knew that I had to, first of all, be on a video, plus do my clients for the rest of the day. So it really takes a lot of controlling yourself. So I need to really constantly be checking in with myself and seeing where I'm at. And if I'm not in a good space, how fast can I get back into that space where I'm able to be present with my clients again? So what I've realized with staff and with clients, so for staff, for instance, I had an amazing girl that was with me for 1.5 years that left recently, and she left because it is a lot of pressure. You have to show up every day, and it takes a lot. And that's why people find it hard to work with me and for me, because you cannot just be invisible. I make you visible, and you're visible to clients, and you need to show up, and you need to connect. And therapists find that hard because often you want to become invisible. You want to do your little crap on the side, and where there's no space for that in my spa. And then with regards to clients, it takes work to come through my door, because we see you as the whole person that you are. So we don't just see you superficially, oh, this is Susan and she just wants an eyebrow wax and that's it. No, we're seeing everything that you are. You know, if you're going through a divorce and you're unhappy, or you are very successful, flying high, but you know your personal life is struggling, we see all of that. And that takes courage to walk through our door and be able to be okay with being vulnerable, because a lot of that walking into LoveIt makes you need to know that we will respect your vulnerability and hold you in your vulnerability, but that, you know, you have to build up trust with that. It's so funny because I've got a big client base, but I've got a small in comparison to bigger spas. But these clients come to me weekly, twice weekly, once every 2 weeks. They come often. And that means that I know their whole life story. I know their children, I know their pets, I know their grandma, I know what their grandfathers are getting up to. And for me, that's really important, because it's a safe space, and it's a space that you can come to, and it doesn't feel like you're going for therapy. But often my clients come in for a wax and they leave and they're like, why am I feeling so amazing? And it's because they've found a space that they can connect, and that they're valued, truly valued. They're not just, I book 15 minutes after each of my clients so that I can say goodbye to them properly and lead them onto their next journey. That's important for me. If I don't have that, and I found that, one client's run late, and I start getting anxious, because it's a very important part of my business. It's my whole business. It's you need to leave with a feeling, and a LoveIt feeling. Oh, I love men. So I have a big male following, and the reason for that is because I did a lot of sports massage, and it's really difficult to find someone that does a very deep tissue sports massage. So that's how I built up my male client base. But once they start, men are the most loyal clients. My clients that come weekly, twice weekly, every week, like twice a week, every second week or whatever, because they have found a place that they are safe, and that and it's not, I'm able to connect with a male on a male basis. So that means that my conversations with men are different. It means that we talk business while giving them a really relaxing therapeutic massage. But it doesn't feel like that, because they're able to stay in their manhood without feeling like they're in a woman-dominant space. So for me, I'm finding that businessmen, like CEOs, MDs, people that have really stressful jobs, it's so important for men to come for treatments and just find an hour just to de-stress, and it's like their time, like their special time. So I really treat my male clients like that. It's quite business, but there's a softness approach to it as well. I opened a male section of my spa, and I called it M Spa, but it wasn't me doing the treatments, it was another therapist. And then I found that my male clients didn't want to go there. They actually wanted to be with me. So I've shut that down for now. But I think the male industry, in terms of caring for yourself and looking after yourself, is growing and it's expanding, and it's something that I really want to get into, because men need to feel loved as much as women need to feel loved, but they just don't find a safe space to feel that. I also think there's a stigma attached to going for a massage, so I feel that that holds a lot of very manly men back from coming, because they think, oh, what if, you know, Joe Soap walks past the road and sees them coming into the spa? What are they going to think? And I've had to work on that because I've got such a large male following. I've had to work on that myself, because I always think, what do people think because I have a big male following? All it means is that they've been able to find a safe space that they're able to connect in a way that they want to connect. And I have had a client for years that's always come to me for massage, and it's taken him, I think he's been a client of mine for 6 years, to say, Candice, I see you do men's facials. Do you think I need it? And I said, absolutely. Everyone needs a facial. It's an amazing experience. And it was so heartfelt, because he just fell asleep and started snoring in this facial. And it was the most amazing experience, because men find it difficult to access their vulnerability. And I've just saw this man just like fall into the heated bed and just completely relax. And so a big part of me also felt sad, because I thought, how often do men not get that time? Because, you know, you're working, you're trying to provide for your family, you're then going home trying to be the best dad, and then often you're back in the office trying to, you know, do last minute admin things, so you actually never switch off. Yeah, so that was the first time where now I'm pushing male facials, because I'm like, you need it actually, because, you know, a massage can sometimes be painful, especially a deep tissue massage, but a facial is always relaxing. It's always, to have someone touch your face and massage it is a beautiful feeling. So there's a variety of different massages that you can choose. I know a lot of different spas have their, you know, signature treatments, and it's all to do with the product houses that they stock. So there'll be massages that go with those product houses. The best thing to know for yourself in terms of if you want to go for a massage, what it is that you want out of the massage. Do you want to relax? Do you have, are you a sportsman or sportswoman that needs specific areas concentrated on? Like you have tight hammies, or you always find that your calves go into spasm, or you have lower back issues. So it's really a great way to start checking in with yourself and in with your body in terms of what it is that you need. My massage is completely, I actually don't have a name for it. I call it a traditional Swedish massage, but it's definitely not that. And I've struggled with that, because there's certain boxes in the beauty field that, you know, it's a Swedish massage, it's a sports massage, it's a deep tissue massage, it's a aromatherapy massage. But what if you combine all of those together and treat everyone with how they need to be treated? So that's my philosophy. When someone walks through my door, I find out what it is that they want out of the massage. How do they want to feel? Do they want deep tissue on their shoulders, because they can take that, but the rest of the body they want to relax and fall asleep? Do they want to really get me to get into every single muscle, and so that they ache for 3 days, and then afterwards their recovery for their sports is better? So it's really, for me, it's all about the individual person, and also what you need on that day. Because I find clients that want a deep tissue massage, but their body keeps on messaging me to say I can't get to that point, because they are so sensitive and all they need to do is relax. So that for me is also important, to always be able to read what the client presents on the day, and also explain it to them, because if you don't, then they'll leave feeling like, flip, all I want to do was to get into my muscles, and now you didn't do that. So I often say to my client, like, I know you want me to work out this knot, but your body is not at that point where we're able to do that. That for me is why I love what I do, because I've been able to access that. And I think therapists miss that because of the because you become a sausage factory, so lots of like massages, you see your column and it's booked with massages, and then you're like, oh, I hate it, because you're tired and exhausted and it takes a lot of energy. But if you actually just had to connect with every client, even though you're back-to-back booked, if you're just able to access what that client is representing, you'll find a newfound love for it, because you'll realize that every person is the same in a way, but different, in terms of they will need different things, but the element of love and care is always there. And if you access that, it's not that hard. It's not hard work, actually, and it's more a gift for me than actually for my clients. So the arm strength is a funny one, because I've got like trapezius muscles like that are super tight. Oh no, triceps. Yeah, triceps. Thank flip my muscles. Yeah, so I've got really big triceps, and so everyone always thinks that I do weights and stuff. I never do weights. It's all massage. I do exercise obviously, but so my arms are strong, and someone came to drop off a whole amount of chairs, and I picked them up, and they were like, no, don't pick them up. I'm like, I'm strong, like I can definitely do it. In terms of, I've had to limit how many massages I do a day, so I won't do more than 4 to 5 massages a day, just because I do feel that my arms start fatiguing, and I want to give the best treatment to all my clients, and also I need to protect my wrist, so that's also why, so that I don't get carpal tunnel. So I'll always do wrist exercises and make sure that my wrists are always well looked after. In terms of people being embarrassed by their body, that's a biggie, and it's probably a big reason why people don't go for treatments or don't go for massages. You have to be skilled as a therapist to really make sure that that client feels not judged, that you're not going to be zooming in on their imperfections. So for me, I find every person beautiful, and that seems cliche, but I had a client the other day that came in for her first time intimate wax, and she had lost about 20 to 30 kilograms, and she felt very self-conscious about her extra skin, and that she still had a long way to go. And the first thing I said is, like, you've lost 20 to 30 kilograms, that's incredible, that's hard flipping work, like, you need to pat yourself on the back, and I'm not going to be looking at your extra skin, and I'm not going to, everything, in the intimate areas, most of the time, it all looks the same. So for me, there's no difference. So it's really about making clients aware that how far they've come and how beautiful they are. And we're not all perfect, but there's beauty in that imperfection. If we all looked the same, it would be hell of a boring. With regards to massage, a lot of people, if they have lots of moles, they're concerned about that. If they're a bit overweight, that's a big area. But I can tell you now, the therapist isn't going to be looking at that. And actually, it's nicer to massage a bigger person than a very skinny, bony person, to be honest. There's more to massage, and there's more, it's just a lot better in terms of flow and connection, and so, yeah, I don't think there should be anything stopping you from taking care of yourself. And if you are self-conscious about something, start small. Start with a 30-minute back massage. That's what I normally say. Like, start with a 30-minute back massage. It's just on your back. You can leave your pants on and everything, but at least you're getting a feel for what it feels like to be touched and cared for and loved, and relaxed, like someone's making you relaxed and connect with your own body. I think that's also an important thing. When you're on a weight loss journey, you sometimes become disconnected with your body, and all you concentrating on is the weight loss. And the biggest part of losing weight is to connect with your body and understand where it's coming from, and to constantly, if I think about when I carried a few extra kilos, I was so unhappy and I annihilated myself over it. And then I just became more puffy and put on more weight. So a big part of weight loss is about connecting with oneself and acknowledging how far you've come and loving yourself through every step. So that means if you've lost 10 kilos and you put on 1 kilo, it still means you've lost 9 kilos. Don't lose track of that. And know that everyone has their own personal journey that they're on every day. So for some it is weight loss, for others it's personal matters, you know. So we all have our thing that we have to walk the journey with. So never lose track of that.